I got a chance to see Undertone, and this is one that I didn't really go into with much expectations for because I remember seeing a trailer for it, but I kind of just thought it was going to be like sort of a remake to the White Noise movie with Michael Keaton from years ago. But it goes into something that harpens back to that era when we used to get movies like Paranormal Activity or Blair Witch Project. In this case, where it's mostly trying to rely most of what you don't see is trying to go for that scare factor. And after upon seeing it, I can definitely tell this movie was everything I wanted it to. It blew me away. Like I can definitely see everything that works in this to its advantage because not only was I really disturbed at times, but the way that it also maybe it brought me back to that era when we got to get movies like Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity, where you didn't have to have like a huge budget to really make like a large to like a scare fest movie. You could just have like very subtle moments where things can show up in the background and stuff, or you're relying purely on sound. And that's what this movie really takes unfold with this, as these two podcasters are trying to they're listening to these different recordings that they found from this anonymous email. And as you start to hear more of the recordings that are happening from this that's these couple that are on this recording, things are going like really south as it goes in deeper, when you're hearing some like really disturbing shit that not only has to do with the weird voices that one of the characters is also hearing, but also a voice that, but also a language that they're actually speaking in like reverse and stuff. And so it gets into some pretty like familiar territory as far as like, what you've seen before in other films with, cults or something like that, or going into a whole supernatural vibe. But the way that it really builds a lot with the movie, with the suspense and its main lead, Nina Kiri, I believe that's how you pronounce it. She did a tremendous job, and it also has a lot of great ways of trying to build, like utilizing the scares, where whenever the sound comes in effect, where they're hearing the recordings, it'll have like a loud noise that's used in a way that actually is felt earned and genuine. And there's even parts in the film where it kind of like mind fucks you because you're basically seeing how things that are going around on the outside where she's basically looking around and stuff can basically alter like what's going on, and like little things that you pick up on if you pay attention and everything, like how it'll be, for example, always 3 o'clock in one part when they say that time changes or something. So not going to go into too much detail on that, but this movie really makes it effective to where what you pretty much don't see, you're having to use your imagination a lot of time. And it actually goes for an ambiguous ending that I really did buy, because the last 15-20 minutes were giving me on the edge of my seat, and it was everything I really wanted to see where the movie was going. And not gonna lie, like it gets really disturbing at really throughout the film when you start to learn more about the stuff that's going on the recordings. And so this is definitely gonna be one of my favorites of the year. And with that, I'm gonna give it